Coconut oil is sold across Australia as a health food at the moment.
92% saturated fat.
And it's one of the most unhealthy.
Absolutely.
Why no oil or sugar?
Okay, I'm gonna tackle the sugar one first because I think most people would really not hesitate to, if you ask them the question, is sugar a junk food? They'd have no hesitation. Of course sugar's a junk food.
Yeah.
But if you ask them why, then generally you're gonna get down to this answer. Because in order to produce sugar, you start with a whole food. It's either going to be sugar cane, or in certain parts of the world it's a sugar beet. And that whole food has protein, fat, carbohydrate, it has some fibre, it has lots of vitamins, it has lots of minerals, it's got some good stuff in there. Like if you just munch sugar cane, that's a really nutritious food.
Yeah, okay.
And people who do have excellent teeth.
Wow.
Why? Because it takes 11 feet of sugar cane to produce 1 teaspoon of sugar.
Okay. Yeah.
So you simply can't overdose on the sugar. So how do you produce sugar from sugar cane or sugar beet? You basically refine all of that good stuff, all of the fibre, all the vitamins, all the minerals, all the stuff that makes it a whole food. You take it out and I don't know, you feed it to the pigs or something. And
so hold on, they're getting all the good stuff.
Yes, exactly.
And you're
lucky
getting
them. Okay. Yes. Also not lucky them because they usually end up eaten. But it's they get the value out of that food, and what we're left with is those little white crystals of sugar, and that's what makes it a junk food, right? That you start with a whole food and then you throw away the good stuff and you're left with just this really concentrated substance. But that's what happens with oil as well.
Okay.
You start with a whole food. It might be a nut, seed, it might be a fruit like an avocado or an olive. And again, it's a complex mixture of protein, fat and carbohydrate and fibre and all good stuff. And then you remove all of that, or almost all of that, and throw that away, or again, feed that to pigs or whatever you do with it. And what you're left with is just this highly concentrated substance never found in nature. Okay? Oils are not found in nature. They're food fragments as opposed to whole foods.
Okay.
So that's, I suppose, the more philosophical answer. From the point of view of the science, what we know from research on, for example, reversing heart disease, is there's only one diet that's ever been shown to reverse advanced coronary artery disease, to actually unblock people's arteries, to take those little lumps of plaque, cholesterol-laden plaque that are clogging up people's arteries and causing heart attacks and strokes and angina and whatever, and actually melt those plaques down. Only one diet has been shown to do that. It's been published in peer-reviewed medical studies. It's been confirmed with angiograms, PET scans and all the rest of it. And that's a whole food plant-based diet, very low in fat, less than 10% calories of fat, with no oil.
No oil.
Okay? No oil. Zip, zero and zilch.
Yep. And I think, would you agree that, there's such controversy around oil because a lot of people sell it as a health food. Yes. And what we said before is that it's actually a highly refined and highly processed food, like highly processed, isn't it?
Yes, indeed. And I find it really amusing that people who follow, for example, a paleo lifestyle, many of them embrace the use of oil. So what I'd like to know is, where were our Paleolithic ancestors getting coconut oil?
That's so interesting.
Like, did they train the pet woolly mammoth to sit on the coconut to squash the oil? Like, do you know how hard it is to extract oil from coconuts?
I'm guessing it's very hard, is it?
It's really, really difficult. And certainly our early ancestors were not doing this. They stumbled across calorie-dense sources, concentrated sources of fat on a probably fairly irregular basis, and you better believe they got pretty enthusiastic about eating them because it was a great source of calories. But they certainly weren't eating oil.
Okay, that's a very good point you bring up on that, because they essentially do they eat oil. And they say they're not eating all these foods that weren't around at that era, but they actually are eating foods that are more of a modern food.
Absolutely.
So that's actually really interesting.
That were not available to our Paleolithic ancestors by any stretch of the imagination.
Okay, can I ask too on this topic one more thing with oil? Because we talk about coconut oil, avocado oil, like you said, olive oil. Are all oils, are they sort of the same sort of thing, as in with their adverse health effects that they can have?
Okay, from an energy density point of view, they're all the same, that they're all 9 calories to the gram. So if you struggle to maintain a healthy body weight, one of the simplest things that you can do to easily reduce your energy intake and make weight loss easier, or make maintaining a healthier body weight easier, is to just get rid of oil.
Just get rid of it.
Just dump it out, right? I mean, a tablespoon of oil, it's roughly 180 calories.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It's a lot, yeah. And so, you know, if you're, say, eating salads every day and wondering, why aren't I losing weight, I'm eating all these salads, well, yeah, you got like 25 calories worth of vegetables in there and 180 calories of fat that you put on top in the dressing. What do you think is happening?
Yeah, wow.
So now, from the point of view of, are all oils equally damaging to artery health, to gut health? Then no.
Okay.
No. Saturated fat, mostly from animal products, but in very concentrated amounts in coconut oil and palm oil. Saturated fat is by far the most damaging. It's the most damaging to arteries, and it's the most damaging to the gut.
Wow. So coconut oil is sold across Australia as a health food at the moment.
92% saturated fat.
And it's one of the most unhealthy.
Absolutely.
Or if not the unhealthiest.
If you're a lab technician and your job, and of course people who are sensitive to animal rights issues are not going to like this bit, but if you're a lab technician whose job is to work with animals in the lab and to deliberately induce leaky gut, to make their intestines permeable so that you can run your experiment, how you do that is you actually feed them a diet high in saturated fat. Okay? Yep. So within a couple of days of putting a rat on a diet with a high amount of saturated fat, its gut is leaking like a sieve.
Okay.
And it's now absorbing very large amounts of endotoxin, which is a product released by a lot of bacteria that live in the gut. And so that leaky gut, basically endotoxin forms a raft with saturated fat. It basically ferries that fat right across the gut membrane into the bloodstream, where the immune system picks up the endotoxin and says, heck, we're under attack, and starts releasing all these inflammatory chemicals.
Wow.
Yeah, so there's a direct link between saturated fat consumption, leaky gut or gut permeability, and chronic inflammation.
Wow, that's really great information. I think a lot of people that are listening to this, and even myself, I think
there is this crazy narrative out there that if you want to heal your gut, you should eat coconut oil. It's like, it is just so completely opposite to what we know from the science that I don't even know where to start.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. Yeah. That's really good information to know.